at least maybe the people just don't have that attitude like they need to get rich quick, that they're content with what they have. I'm not sure. But I mean, I would certainly demand a little bit more out of them, though, myself, just with the health problems that I see. I suspect, I mean, I don't think hospitals can release statistics about the types of health problems for a community. But from what I've seen, I'm assuming it's a lot of sugar-related obesity problems, diabetes and stuff. Do the Navajo drink? I haven't seen a lot of beer cans around. I really haven't noticed any real bad drunken people. That's a concern. It's not very, very present, maybe because I'm not hanging out in the right spots. I mean, from what I'm observing, the Navajo have a means of amusing themselves quite readily. I've noticed that in a lot of their conversations in the library. Just little things like some little girls were turning the chairs around. It's so hot in that library. They're turning the chairs around so they didn't face the sun. And then as soon as they got done doing that, they're like, oh, we gotta go now.
Oh, she's disabled. I'm not in line. I'm just happy. Thank you. Have a seat. I'll be right with you.
Over there? Okay.
I didn't get it for like 2 years. Just go ahead and apply for sushi. It's coming the din Friday. I came Friday going the din
the white trap, this is yours too.
10 o'clock in the I came over.
Thank you.
Yep, thank
I
you.
don't know hot.
What do you need to bring?
Nothing. Your ID sheet. I ate it yesterday. Needed this? Trying in the zone. They're here, over there by the airport. Actually, no, I don't ask she eat it because she knows I'm from here.
I'm at that. Good, how are you? Hi.
Hey, no water?
No water.
In the back.
I was told to donate it back if I don't take it. I'm not taking this because they add things that probably have caused me problems in the past. I don't know what part of it. If it's not just salt and oil, I can't, because something in these messed me up. I'm gonna look at this box, and I'm told just donate it in the back. Wait, you gotta get a box?
No, you're not.
Okay.
I was just gonna take this stuff in.
Right, in the food box, they got rice, beans, peas, some canned foods, Tostios. This is nothing I can take. Maybe wait a second. It says whole grain, but I'm bringing noodles back into my diet. But maybe I'll take it. This is actually tempting. Look at that extra light. I think I like that. Pears are so good. Now, this is actually tempting. Look at this. There's no sugar added. Right here. No sugar? Cheerios can't even avoid putting sugar in. These guys put none. That's not too bad. This Hardy pack is very interesting. I've never seen this before. It has no barcode, so it's entirely donations. There's no barcode on it. Pretty neat. I find it amusing to hear the grackles while waiting in line. It's like they show up knowing that maybe people might drop some food bank food. And also, I heard the older Navajos speaking their natural language. I tried to record some of the words they said. It's definitely far from sounding Spanish or Mexican. They got a deeper tone to a lot of their words. It's interesting, but it's only mostly spoken by the older Navajo, and there's quite a few older Navajo that have to come to this food bank. So the Navajo reservation is southwest of here. Maybe it's that town I see off in the distance, but many of them choose to live here too. Live on the reservation or off the reservation. I wonder how much of a difference it makes to the individual. So incredible to see the landscape off in that way. And that's the higher mountains, the flat top mountain area that's on the other side of that huge canyon. So you really got a deep point and then a steep point that heading that way. that mountain range is impossible to reach. You can reach some of those mountains. I've heard of these space trailers before. It's interesting. Makes sense. A little surprised I got 6 pounds of frozen wild blueberries shipped all the way from Maine. Amazing. I can go through one sitting of 3 pounds. Yeah, it was 3 pound bags, so 2 bags, 3 pounds. Just mix them with a little milk. But I'm using the other 3 pounds they're frozen, so I'm using them to keep the steak that I have cold and hopefully good for cooking tomorrow. It's funny to think that the Navajo came down here from eastern Alaska a couple thousand years ago, and they just go from one barren landscape to the next. I mean, that travel probably took a number of years, but what a difference. Go from the harsh colds of the winter to the harsh heat of the desert, and live in such extremes. And I was given the impression about Navajo looking kind of similar to Alaskans, but I'm not sure how much I really felt like they look like Alaskans until after I read the Wikipedia about their history, and then it's like, well, yeah, there does seem a lot of similarity to Alaskans, unlike other Indian tribes. Kind of amusing to see that these mountains, they're not snow-capped if they're extremely tall, like in the northern parts. No, they're green-capped. Alright, cooking my food bank food. I got New York strip steaks. Hopefully they're not too bad. And then this, oh no, okay, potatoes, just two potatoes. I'd normally cook a lot more, but with this I can cook less. Well, at least saved most of the blueberries, 6 pounds worth. But it did leak through the jacket, I think, and into the bucket. But I saved most of them, at least. Could have done a much better job. with these blueberries. I should have put them in I should have double bagged them or triple bagged them. Oh man, that's the problem. It happens all the time with frozen foods. And my jacket's only sat here like 2 minutes, and it's dripping. I had that much berry juice. Man, that kind of makes me angry that I let it go to waste. Alright, I'm such a bum. I decided that since I got all of these blueberries right here, they're frozen still from yesterday. I don't want to eat them all like I did the last 3 pounds. Mix them with oats to try to slow down that sugar processing. This is back-to-back cooking I just didn't plan on, but it's so easy to do. It's like I'm in a kitchen. This is easy to set up. I really enjoy it. Back-to-back cooking, pretty much. I've been looking at other pots besides this one, actually like in the kitchen type pots. This is a traveler's pot, but I like this. I'm gonna hold off until this is just not usable anymore. One milk, not 2. Being multilingual at this Walmart is a definite plus. There's like people here who I thought would be American, and then they start speaking like Swedish or something. The Chinese, of course, stand out, but the white people, they start speaking a foreign language. I have no idea. Alright, so I'm choosing a slightly less bulky strap, but that's at risk of when I find a picnic table and want to do some back bends over the ends. This is my primary adjustable strap, whereas this blue one, which is not my favorite color, is static, and yeah, I really can't put it around a picnic table as effectively as this. So this is primarily for finding anchor points to do some gravity training. Just making observations in the evening. It's only 6:30 though because of the winter fallback. There are a ton of different languages being spoken at like Safeway and probably Walmart. Some kind of a football game over there. Both sides have white jerseys on. Oh, I see, okay. The referees are just standing around, so I guess they're just practicing right now. Man, the smoke from Big John's is incredible. They got a live band. I'm really impressed that I haven't farted today. I had all kinds of onions. I had like 3 or 4 onions this morning, so it would have passed through me, but the gas would have passed through me by now. But I consumed a lot of dill seed and dill weed. I think it might be the seed that's the most potent in killing gas, and it's supposed to be related to anise. Anise does nothing. So I mixed a lot of dill, and I don't know if it's good to do that, but it definitely kills the gas problem. I find it interesting how the Navajo can't claim those Anasazi petroglyphs that are in the canyon because they descended at very different times into this area. The Anasazi got killed off or something, and then the Navajo came in from Alaska 2,000 years ago. I find this interesting, but for the past week, this guy has been parking here. He's been leaving and coming back. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what he's been doing. Where has he been going? I'm talking about parking right next to the Walmart like this. There's a couple of guys like that. There's one guy who comes here at maybe 8 a.m. and parks during the daytime to sleep. He does something all night. I don't know why I don't record these things fast enough, but I just saw my first Navajo under the influence of something. I asked him if he was drunk or under the influence of something, and he says something like, the good shit. And he's drooling. I should have just recorded him, but it says he followed me for just a little bit. And he's just like, what's up, bro? At least he's friendly. I haven't felt more relaxed and feeling like I belong in a minority group as much as I have with the Navajo. They're very mindful, and they mind their own business. And they seem compassionate too. I just listened to there's a white guy, a Walmart here, say that he fell down somewhere, fell down, now he's going home. And he said that to a Navajo lady who was also a Walmart worker. There's quite a few Navajos who work at the Walmart. And she genuinely asked where he tripped. And then their conversation continued. I walked away. But it's like they have this genuine compassion or something. Just it's probably the Alaskan gene, because when I watched Northern Exposure and that one Alaskan native, she was very nice and laid back, and I think that gene is probably a gene that was bred into them in Alaska, dealing with those harsh climates. They brought them over here and thrived. In a lot of respects, they're a little too laid back, because it really pisses me off to see how much the obesity epidemic is destroying a lot of their health. It's at least half the people, kids, adults, any age, they're really struggling with this obesity problem. And I blame sugar, obviously. This thing is a boat. That thing is amazing. Check this out, they got a guard dog. 2 guard dogs at the lake time. This is pretty neat. Alright, Poochie. Mercury. They sell a lot of boats on this road. Big boats. Not maybe kind of commercial. Emerald Bay, Desert Dawn, Port of Page. Maybe it's a boat storage. They got all kinds of boats here. And over there too. They store them like all along this area. There could be over 1,000. Over 1,000 boats. Not sure if they're privately owned or what. These over here look private. Well, I mean, I can't tell. There's a slide in the back. That's not commercial. I get the impression that they're building them here, but they're all the same. It's because they're all the same, that gives me the impression. Like, here's the one down the road. Oh man. Yeah, they even have a sign that says boats for sale. Or you can rent them. Lake Powell Marine. Just a ton. It's just a house on the water. And then on this other side, there's a ton of horse storage. It's not too clear how private they are. Vermilion Cliffs. There's no private property warnings. But this guy pulling out might say something. Nope. Nope, they won't. Hi, horsey. Just a bunch of storage. It doesn't have any advertising. Like, if I wanted to bring a horse here, who do I talk to? Hi, horsey. Yeah. These grackles sound like they've gotten hit on their heads one too many times. That's right. You're crazy.